Alright, so something pretty much everyone within the Zelda community is currently wondering is when and if we'll even see more of Tears of the Kingdom before it releases in just a little over 4 weeks now, a month. It's coming up very soon, and Nintendo is being very tight-lipped about it to some people's very great disdain and dismay. People are very upset about that, but a lot of people, myself included, are actually kind of into the idea of them holding back and not showing us too much, because the entire appeal of Breath of the Wild, and most certainly will be the case with Tears of the Kingdom, is exploring and finding out all these things on your own. Breath of the Wild they needed to show more of because it was the first open world it was the first open world Zelda game, so they needed to, you know, kind of prove it. They don't really need to prove it now. People are going to buy the game anyway. Even the people complaining about it looking like DLC or whatever, they're going to buy the game. So the marketing for this game is definitely, you know, justifiably a bit different than Breath of the Wild, at least from their perspective. So I wanted to tackle this because, you know, like I said, a lot of people are really wondering not only when, but even if they're actually going to show more. I've seen some people say that there's going to be a Zelda Direct still this month. I've seen some people say there's not going to be anything from now until the game just releases. So I want to kind of explain why I think we actually will get a new trailer and what it'll be, around when it'll be, and what that trailer could have in it. Before that, though, I do want to say thank you so much for the support on my 2 recent Tears of the Kingdom videos. You guys seem to really like those, and I love making these and talking about games I love, so subscribe for more of that. I do really appreciate the support. I have a lot of Tears of the Kingdom stuff planned from now until launch, and then, of course, after launch, there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about there, so let's go ahead and get into it. The marketing for this game has been very off. In terms of, like, regular Nintendo games, there's really nothing comparable to this. We had it revealed in 2019 with a cinematic trailer. Then in 2021, yes, 2 years later, we saw more of it, and it had a little bit of gameplay. You know, we saw the Sky Islands for the first time, that kind of thing. Then we saw it again at some point in 2022, and then we saw it early this year. So the pacing of these trailers has been very, very weird there. Obviously, they were traversing the pandemic, which I imagine probably attributed quite a bit to the lack of updates. But we are close to launch now. We just got that gameplay demonstration from Aonuma 2 weeks ago. I think it was on, March 28th. So not even a full 2 weeks ago. So pretty recently. Of course, that was done literally 5 weeks before the game comes out, which is crazy. And that gameplay demonstration, you know, it was a 13-minute video. It showed us stuff we didn't even really know about. Like, we had seen it in trailers, but it actually kind of gave context to what these new abilities are and all that. So it was a pretty major reveal, you know, just 5 weeks from when the game came out. So, to answer the question, do I think there will be another trailer? Yes. There is absolutely no way they don't do another trailer for this game. Will it be a Zelda Direct, though? I don't think so, for one reason. I think if they were going to do a Zelda Direct and have that kind of big blowout that people were expecting, myself included, back in, like, February, I think they would have done that instead of the gameplay demonstration. That gameplay demonstration would have been part of that Direct. Specifically, something that I think is kind of like a red flag there is the Tears of the Kingdom OLED. I think that hardware would have absolutely been announced in a Zelda Direct. Maybe even the Amiibo, maybe announcing the Amiibo reprints of the older, you know, Anniversary series Amiibo. I really don't think it's going to be a Direct, but I do think there will be one more trailer, and I do think they'll give us a heads up. I don't think we're going to wake up on Twitter one day and it'll just be like, oh, there's a new Tears of the Kingdom trailer, you know, that's kind of, whoa, who would have thought? No, I do think they'll actually announce it. You know, Nintendo normally doesn't do that with just regular trailers, but they also don't really regularly do just separate gameplay demonstrations from a producer of a game. So the way I see it, about late April, we will probably get a tweet saying, hey, stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to have a new final trailer, a final look at Tears of the Kingdom before it comes out. And it will be just that. It will be a 3 minutes, really good trailer. Hopefully, you know, this is me being a little bit more personally hopeful. Hopefully on the same hype scale as the Breath of the Wild 2017 Switch presentation trailer. That'd be the dream, right? And I think that's what will happen here, because something you have to consider when wondering about another Tears of the Kingdom info drop is that reviewers and the press are going to be getting the game probably about 10 days to a full 2 weeks before the game comes out, which will put it at late April. And something that Nintendo has done over the past couple years is usually right before a game comes out, or they send those codes and those copies to reviewers, they do a big blowout. You know, I think of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct in late June of last year, and then what, 3 weeks later I think Xenoblade 3 came out. Same thing with Splatoon 3, you know, it was like a month in that case. And then, you know, they do these big blowout events because they want to control the message. They want to tell you what they want you to know, because while yes, these reviewers and press, they have to say like, yeah, we're not going to spoil the game, obviously, stuff's going to get out. Retail copies are going to be leaked physically, you know, that kind of thing. I can imagine Nintendo would want to have that one final hype factor, hype moment, and control that message of what you're seeing, instead of letting it kind of just leak through maybe some unwanted sources, you know, from be that press or, you know, the leaked copies at, you know, your local mom and pop shop, that kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely, I think late April you can bet on a new Tears of the Kingdom trailer coming out. Now, I've flip-flopped a little bit with Tears of the Kingdom on this channel over the past year or two. Back in February, as recent as February, I was pretty critical, saying they hadn't shown enough of the game, and I wanted to see more. That was more me just being, you know, being a fan, wanting to see more, because I'm greedy and I want to see this beautiful new game. But after that recent gameplay demonstration, I've actually kind of swapped, and I would be fine, personally, without a new trailer. You know, I know I'm going to buy the game, I know I'm going to like it. That's enough for me. Like I said, it's all about the discovery, so I don't really need to see more of it. However, while a blowout trailer that showed us a ton of stuff, like the Breath of the Wild trailer that we're all familiar with from 2017, as cool as that would be, I kind of hope we don't get that. I hope we get more than the February direct for Tears of the Kingdom, though. I hope we get more than that trailer showed, because in that trailer, you know, we got Ganondorf's VO, presumably. We got some VO from Zelda. We saw new things. We saw, for the first time, the fuse ability in action with the arrows, and we saw a lot of new little things. Specifically, there's one thing I think we're all kind of curious about, and that is dungeons. So I will say this. I think the trailer that they're going to have for this game, the final launch trailer, final trailer, whatever they call it, I think we may not know the context of what we're seeing, but I do think there is a good chance that they actually just show a dungeon. We're not going to get a press release after saying, that's a dungeon, and there's 100 of them on the map. You know, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be left to us YouTubers and all these people in the community to kind of analyze and figure out what exactly we saw based on the art book leaks and whatever that is. But I think they'll tease a dungeon. I think they might even tease a new town, some new areas of the map, be that Sky Islands, caves, or anywhere in between. I think we might see some new characters, but I don't think it's going to be quite to the pacing and hype cycle factor that the Breath of the Wild trailer was. And personally, I hope it isn't. You know, once again, I would be completely fine if they didn't show the game again, but the reality is they're going to. It is a game. They're going to sell it. They're going to show you the game so you can be more hyped that close to release. So I think what I said would be perfect. You know, tease a dungeon, or whatever the spiraling green things are, the replacement for shrines, whatever that is, a puzzle area, let's put it that way, I guess. Show maybe a town, maybe a couple of new characters. You know, there's going to be some new Gorons to interact with, some new Zoras, that kind of thing, right? But don't go overboard. Maybe have some really cool new music in that trailer to get people really hyped. Maybe have some new VO from Zelda hyping someone up, or maybe even, you know, maybe like a new character we don't know about. Have their voice pop up in the trailer, so people are like, who's that? You know, that kind of thing. I think there's a lot they can do with a launch trailer for this game that will get people excited without revealing too much, you know? I would argue we've seen kind of like a perfect amount at this point in terms of mechanics, but also new enemy types. The main thing we haven't seen, though, is dungeons and whatever those spiral things are on the map. So I think just teasing that is what we need to see. I wouldn't expect that many new enemies because I think they've shown enough new enemies now with the constructs and the three-headed dragon thing on the bridge and the flying enemies. I think we've seen enough of that. I think we've seen enough of the plot to the point where, like, yeah, like I said, we'll have probably some VO teasing something, but nothing, you know, super, you know, in-depth on, like, the Zonai or anything. So, like, a medium blowout is what I'm predicting here and hoping for. Not to the tier of the 2017 Breath of the Wild trailer, but not to the point where people are going to be like, oh, that wasn't enough. You know, I think it'll be the perfect blend of both worlds. So I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. When do you think we are going to see more Tears of the Kingdom? Do you think we'll even see more before it comes out? And if so, what do you think will be in the trailer? I would love to get a conversation going down in the comments below. I've been trying to be really good with these Tears of the Kingdom videos and responding to every comment, so I'll probably try to respond to you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Zelda videos. And until next time, folks, Bye-bye!